Do retirees have regrets? Absolutely they do. So if you're thinking about or planning for your own retirement, well then listen closely, because in this video, I'm going to reveal what the top 5 regrets that retirees actually have. And it's not just to know what they are, it's actually there to help you avoid them yourself. I collated the data from a group of retirees who responded to this question. What is your biggest regret after retirement? Well, over 1,000 people responded, and I'll reveal the top 5 that came up the most and the reasons why. And towards the end of the video, I'll reveal my own biggest retirement lesson, so be sure to stick around. And if you're new to the channel, guys, welcome aboard. My name's Paul. I'm a recent retiree who decided to set up a YouTube channel where I share all my knowledge and experiences around all things related to retirement, travel, and having a purpose in life. And before we get started, guys, just a quick little bit of housekeeping. The information in this video is of a general nature only. It's others' opinions and thoughts together with a few of my own, so it shouldn't be construed as life or financial advice. You'll need to seek the services of a professional there. And also, just for clarity, this information came from a Facebook group that I'm a member of. I gathered all the responses and replies, put them into to AI, and that then gave me the findings. Starting with the 5th most common reply, and a little bit of a somber note to start with, because there were in some cases situations where respondents' hands were forced. The common things that were mentioned was that many retirees actually retired early because their health brought about that, earlier than they really wanted to retire. And unfortunately there were cases where shortly after retirement health issues cropped up, really not enable them to maximise the joyous time they had ahead. And there were also some cases where the spouse passed away not long after the other had actually began their retirement. Others mentioned not maximising their time with grandkids, and there were others that mentioned they didn't really focus on purpose enough in the lead up to retirement. I actually know someone who retired in their mid-60s, and then 2 years later they received a diagnosis from the doctor that nobody wants to hear. I guess the takeout here, guys, is life doesn't wait for retirement, and life can change in an instant. So there's something to be said for not waiting for or putting off that someday, and there's definitely merit in enjoying moments now, because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Not surprisingly, a very common response were issues relating to money. Some respondents wished they'd saved more, others regretted not investing early enough or wise enough. One even said they had to go back and work part-time just to make ends meet. Look, at the end of the day, retirement isn't a silver bullet where it erases money issues, and I guess if nothing else, it actually makes it more clear and puts more of an emphasis and a focus towards it. As I've mentioned in other videos, there's a lot of merit towards having a plan, a financial plan, utilising the services of a financial advisor or an industry professional, because in some cases, a lot of people think they need to be here, when in fact they may be somewhere below that. And going and seeing a professional enables you to work and put a plan together that's both attainable and workable for you. And it may well be that you actually may not need as much as you think you need. Sorry to interrupt, guys, but if you're enjoying the video, I'd really appreciate if you can give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button so you're kept up to date with all the latest content, because it really helps the channel. Now back to the video. The 3rd most common regret was missing work. Some missed the job, some missed the whole routine of going to work every day because they liked what they did. It was fulfilling for them. Others missed their work colleagues, some missed the daily interaction and the social aspect that work gave them. Others decided that work was their purpose, and when they took the decision to retire, they found, at least initially, they found it difficult to come to terms with, due to the change and ultimately the lack of routine. Because the reality is that work does provide purpose, structure, social connections, and they're not always easy to replace. Purpose was the missing link that was preventing me from taking the plunge into retirement. And that's why it's so important to build a purpose and new routines from the get-go when you retire. And ideally have those sort of things in the background before you even take the step. Because it enables you to sort of transition from, say, stepping out of one thing and then stepping into a new thing. Interesting, the 2nd most common response was not having any regrets at all. The common feedback respondents said were things like no regrets, best decision I ever made, and absolutely nothing or absolutely none. I guess this says that respondents were ready. Maybe they were done with work, or most probably it was a combination of both. But I think what's underpinning this is the preparation, because when it's done right, retirement is most definitely fulfilling, and it's also very humbling. And I also think that it's just a good reminder that retirement is what you make of it. So I planned well, maybe this could be you. By far, the #1 regret was not retiring sooner. Over and over again, respondents said not doing it sooner. I wish I'd done it earlier. Many people just get stuck in the 1 more year trap, fearing finances. Maybe it's feeling that they're not ready or prepared. I guess this just reiterates the need for identifying what is the enough number earlier on the piece so you can avoid this down the track. And just a quick one before we move on to my situation. Another thing that did come up in the findings was the subject of identity, which can be a big one for a lot of people. Concerns or fears that they're going to lose their identity, which is understandable, particularly when you come in a profession where that was your world and you're identified as that. You might have been a professional in a specific industry. But for a lot of us mere mortals who just work for a company, work for a boss, that sort of thing, and I'm speaking from my own experiences here, I didn't see it as such a big deal, because at the end of the day you were working for someone else and they were forging your identity. When you come into retirement, you can actually create your new identity, and that is being retired. So I'm not sure if that, from what I'm hearing and speaking to a lot of people, doesn't seem to be a big one. So if that was something that is a concern for you, maybe that's just a bit of food for thought. So give you some confidence that you can have a new identity when you retire. That's very different from what you've done for the last 40 odd years. So what was mine? Well, look, to be honest with you, when it comes to my own retirement, I don't really have any regrets, but there are some lessons learned and some things I'd do differently or better. And I would have done things much more intentionally a lot earlier than what I did. And in a previous video, I created something called the 5 steps to a structured retirement plan that I wish I'd actually used myself a few years ago or in the last 10 years leading up to my retirement. I'll leave a link to it below. And look, at the end of the day, I'm quite happy with how my retirement's worked out. But if I had that plan in place, it's only a 5-step, as I say, plan. It just was a simple little roadmap that enabled me to map things out rather than going in a direction where I was a bit lost, confused, up and down with where I was at with things. This was just a lot smooth, a lot more structured, and ultimately would have made the process a lot more smoother for me. But look, as I say, no regrets, lessons learned. I've done it, I'm here now, and I hope this just gives you sort of something for you to take away to help your own retirement journey just that little bit smoother. So there you have it, guys. There's the top 5 retirement regrets that actual retirees have provided feedback on. And as I said a second ago, I really hope that gives you some good takeouts there to help you with your own retirement journey. So tell us where you're at. Do you have any regrets so far? What are you doing? What are you doing well? What are you not so doing? What could you do differently? Drop us a note in the comments below, guys. I'd really love to hear from you and share all the knowledge and information from the viewers. And if you've enjoyed today's video, I'd really appreciate if you give it a thumbs up, because it does help the channel. And of course, hit that subscribe button so you're up to date with all the latest content from the channel, again, relating to all things retirement, travel and purpose. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.